Good evening. My name is Scott Boitano, and I'm a professor of physiology and a member of the Asthma and Airway Disease Research Center at the University of Arizona. I have the distinct pleasure to represent the faculty and welcome you all to the online version of the 15th Annual Ceremony to honor advanced degree recipients and candidates from the College of Medicine departments and graduate interdisciplinary programs at the University of Arizona. First, a little history of the event. Our usual event is annually held in Duval Auditorium and grew from a single email to the physiology faculty from two physiological science graduate students who were nearing their degree and expressed a desire to have a formal celebration for all of the students in our program. The College of Medicine had tried for years to formalize a venue. However, with the varied graduation times for each student and the absence of a suitable template, efforts to move a ceremony forward were continually stalled. Teaming up the College of Medicine graduates with the graduate interdisciplinary programs was the key change that got the ball rolling again. Soon there was a committee of faculty, staff, and students that laid the groundwork for an inaugural ceremony in May 2006. Through the years, there have been many who have carried the torch to keep the ceremony going strong, and the need to offer an online version this year is another example of how this event has become a staple for our graduate students and our faculty. Our students being honored here tonight are from specific departments in the College of Medicine, including Cellular and Molecular Medicine, Clinical and Translational Sciences, Immunobiology, Pharmacology, and the Pre-Medical Admissions Pathway Program. Additionally, we have students from several graduate interdisciplinary programs, including Applied Biosciences, Arid Lands Resource Sciences, Cancer Biology, Entomology and Insect Sciences, Genetics, Neuroscience, Physiological Sciences. Together, we will honor 79 students who have finished or are scheduled to finish the requirements for a graduate degree in the fall, spring, or summer sessions of this academic year. Each of the students has put in an exceptional amount of time and effort to meet their deadlines, complete their projects, and represent their results in the context of advancing the science within their field. In the meantime, we as faculty have benefited from these students. We recognize that the students may start out as a set of hands that conduct many of the experiments of our own design, but soon the students move to expand on those experiments, discuss results within and outside of their laboratory, further the experimental protocols, and in many cases, bring fresh ideas to old and new scientific problems. The truth is, as faculty, we get to revisit discovery with each of these students, and as we help to move their careers forward, they too move our careers forward. The graduate students being honored here have earned not only their degree, but also our respect and our sincere thanks for their enthusiasm, dedication, and hard work that it has taken them to get to this point in their careers. This ceremony is a small effort to honor their commitment to the University of Arizona and celebrate their growing careers in the sciences. On behalf of all the faculty, I would like to thank you all for the efforts you have put forward to reach this point in your career. Speaking to the students there. In addition to honoring the students, I would be remiss if I failed to acknowledge the large role of the student support groups, peers, siblings, parents, relatives, and friends that contribute to the individual student's success. I am sure these students will agree that without this support, many of the students being honored would not have gotten through the rigors required for the advanced degree. Whether this support be financial or emotional, it was and still is essential. Again, on behalf of the faculty, I would like to thank those special support people and your significant roles in this graduation event. For the next part of our program, we have invited Dr. Juanita Merchant to share some thoughts with us on this special occasion. Dr. Merchant holds a Bachelor in Science degree from Stanford University and both philosophical and medical doctorate degrees from Yale University. Dr. Merchant joined the faculty at the University of Arizona in July 2018 as a professor of medicine, as chief of the University of Arizona Division of Gastroenterology and Hepatology, and as member of the Cancer Biology Research Program. She holds many national honors that include membership in the National Academy of Medicine, the National Institute of Health Council of Councils, and the Board of Scientific Counselors for the National Institute of Diabetes and Digestive and Kidney Diseases, which is a unit of the National Institute of Health. It is a pleasure to welcome Dr. Merchant as our keynote speaker.
Good evening, and congratulations to the 2020 class of the Graduate Interdisciplinary Programs in the College of Medicine departments at the University of Arizona. My name is Juanita Merchant. I'm currently the Chief of Gastroenterology and Hepatology at the University of Arizona. I'd like to congratulate all of the PhD graduates and master's students today, and would like to just give you a couple of words of encouragement as you begin this new phase of your career. I think it's a very exciting time. It's obviously a very stressful and challenging time, but I think the principles that have been instilled in you during this period of time, during your graduate studies, will serve you in good stead. And I'd like to give you a couple of, pointers with respect to my career development, and I'd like to just talk about a couple of the things that I did perhaps correctly in my career and things that I regret, and then and finish up with a couple of points of suggestions. So the things that I think I did right in my career, and just to give you a little background, I grew up in Los Angeles. I was a Stanford undergrad. I did my MD and PhD at Yale School of Medicine. I did my PhD in cell biology, completed residency up in Boston, went back to UCLA and completed a GI fellowship, and then was recruited to University of Michigan, where I was a professor there for 27 years. So I currently work on chronic inflammation that leads to gastric and colon cancer. So my research is very closely related to what daily clinical expertise is focused on. And so when I look back, I think the things that I did right is that I obtained a broad liberal arts education. I concentrated, my major in college was in biology, and that's where I actually started to do research. I learned to type, which I know sounds odd in this day and age, but in our era, only women were programmed into typing and home ec, etc. And so that was something that I think I was able to beat out my male colleagues in. I started doing research, as I mentioned, in college after my sophomore year, and fell in love with doing research and working late nights in the laboratory. And I think that really has propelled me throughout my career, because I think when things are not working and I get discouraged about getting things done in the lab, I think back to what initially ignited my interest and excitement about doing research. So that leads me to the fourth point, which is developing that passion for science. I was a math major in high school. I loved chemistry for some reason. I was pretty good in organic and inorganic chemistry. And but I learned quickly my freshman year in college that math was not going to be for me. I thought I was going to be a math teacher and didn't know what else to do with the career at the time. And so I ended up becoming pre-med. But then once I started working in the lab, really fell in love with doing science. The things that I would change, I'm sorry I didn't stick with my piano lessons. I think in this era where, and particularly now, where the comfort of being able to create music, I can read music a little bit, but sorry I didn't get to the point where I was proficient in an instrument. And I think those of you that are fortunate to be creative in that way really stick with that. I wish I had taken more history. I find myself many times when I'm giving talks reminding people of where we were. And I think this pandemic also is teaching us that we're using some of the same approaches that we did in the Middle Ages. And so, but this understanding the history of behind many techniques or conclusions is helpful because that's an opportunity for us to investigate. So I challenge this class, as you develop your career, to think about what we have not been able to get accomplished, and that's an opportunity for you to start doing research in those areas. I wish I had taken more computer and programming and statistics, because I'm finding now that I am dealing a lot more with large databases, in which I always have to go and ask for help, because that was not my forte. So I think this generation, hopefully you are a lot more savvy than many of us were with computers and large databases. I wish I had taken more science courses. No, I should say non-science courses, such as philosophy, English literature. And I think that is related to being able to do more writing, the opportunity early on to become a very good writer. Because a lot of what we do as academic professionals is writing and speaking and learning how to do that well. And that's why it's very helpful to learn that skill early on, particularly in the non-science courses. And then finally, I wish I had become fluent in a foreign language. Obviously, I think growing up or living here in Tucson, Spanish would be the obvious first choice. I grew up in Los Angeles, and I'm sorry I didn't learn Spanish. But I think to become really fluent in these languages, you usually have to spend time overseas. So those are some of the things that I think I did correctly, but also had some regrets about and not, in the development of my career. And then finally, I just wanted to leave you with a couple of 4 takeaway points. And I would say number 1 is that there are going to be many hills and many valleys that you're going to have to traverse during your career, even in your own personal life. And I think the number 1 key point is to be tenacious. You've got to really stick with it. I think the prizes, the getting the papers published, getting that grant, getting that position is not necessarily to the people that have tried 2 or 3 times, but the person that really sticks with it and keeps trying to achieve whatever it is that they are trying to get, whether it's the job, getting that paper published, or getting your grant funded. And I actually just spoke to a colleague over the weekend who, after many tries, and I had talked to her over the years, that she was trying to get a major grant refunded, and they had gone without funding for a while, but that they were able to achieve that. And she even said, Juanita, I remember when you said you just really have to stick with it. And it's really true. All of us are doing that, even in this environment. I think number 2, you can't be tenacious if you don't love what you do. There's not enough money in the world to pay you to be bored and to hate what you do. So you really have to be invested in this career, and you have to figure out what is that assay that gets you up in the morning, that you have decided that this is really, for you. What is it in that inner self that motivates you? And what I tell people, the type of career that I have, I many times have to go in the middle of the night or get up early in the morning. And even when I was doing my graduate student thesis, there's many times I had to come in late at night and finish time points, etc. And so, you're willing to do that if you really love and you're passionate about what you're doing. So be passionate. You always have to continue to learn, and I think, so that's number 3, continue to learn. I think the careers of the future are really going to be a combination of different disciplines. In my era, it was combining medicine with basic science, and I did an extra postdoc in molecular biology. So my career is a combination of gastroenterology and molecular biology and transgenic mouse models. Now it's being able to manipulate large databases. It's going to be machine learning. It's maybe combining astrophysics, astrobiology. What is How are we going to run a PCR assay in zero gravity? So there's just a lot of things that you're going to have to think about that can be combined to make a very exciting career and a very fruitful career. And then finally, it's regardless of what era you have finished in, we all have mentors. I continue to have mentors. And hopefully those of you that are graduating, you not only have the current mentor who you've worked with, but you will develop and continue to have relationships with people that are going to be able to show you the way and help you to navigate very difficult paths in your career. So I will keep my remarks short. Hopefully these were a couple of points that will help sustain you as you move to the next phase of your career. And I congratulate you on an outstanding, whatever, 4, 5, 7 years, however long it took. I know I would say doing a PhD thesis was the toughest educational hurdle that I had to accomplish. I think it's harder than doing an MD. And so my hat's off to you. I am not wearing my graduation cap, but I know that you'll be throwing yours up in the air wherever you are. So thank you, and I'm glad that I was able to participate in this graduation.
And now, in the next part of our virtual ceremony, I would like to welcome Maggie Pitts, the Associate Dean of Academic Affairs in the Graduate College, who will share a few words with the students.
Hello, I'm Maggie Pitts, Associate Dean of Academic Affairs in the Graduate College. It is my absolute pleasure to be here with you today, virtually, to congratulate the 79 master's and doctoral candidates recognized in this celebratory event, coming from the graduate interdisciplinary programs of the Graduate College and also the graduate programs in the College of Medicine. You are the scientists, the scholars, the practitioners, the thinkers who will be among the very first to lead in the new direction in light of the COVID-19 and coronavirus changes. I hope that each of you are fortunate enough at this time to have somebody sitting next to you to celebrate with you, a friend or a family member, somebody that you can reach out to and just squeeze their hand or give them a hug in this time of celebration. It's the thing I miss most about commencement programs, but I hope that you have somebody that you can bring into this experience with you. It's hard to hold on to the good when everything seems to be tumultuous around you. I'm very familiar with the rigors of your programs and the challenges inherent to pursuing a graduate degree. And because you're all here with me today, I know that you've already met those challenges, you've already thrived, you've already succeeded in those areas. So I have no doubt that you will be able to contribute positively and meaningfully to the career choice that you have ahead of you and to making our community, our country, our planet a better place. The thing that I think is a little bit harder in this moment of time than doing all of that is to find something that is good in this moment to relish in and to hold it dear to you. When things are looking bleak, it's hard to see what is good around you. So while I know that you'll do great in your careers going forward because you've already developed the repertoire that you need to show strength and resilience in times of challenge, I encourage you to do something a little bit different and take this moment to consider the things that are going right now. What is good for you? What are the pleasures that you can still relish in, even though COVID-19 has deeply affected the ways that we communicate and relate to one another? And I urge you to seek out things that you can find pleasure and meaningful experiences in and hold them dear to you. Let them simmer in your mind, experience them as fully as you can, and then take the time to share that experience with somebody else and bring them into what is joyful and meaningful to you. And in doing that, I hope that you can create a space for joy, for flourishing, and for celebration of the achievements that you've made and what you have with you right now. Resilience and compassion are built out of trials and triumphs, And that is something that every single graduate student knows much about. So again, you've already built a repertoire for resilience and strength. And now I'd like you to add a dash of joy and hope and kindness and compassion in that as well. So on behalf of the Graduate College, all of our staff, all of the deans, everybody who's been cheering you on behind the scenes all along the way, we wish that we could celebrate with you in person and to recognize each of these programs for their excellence in developing master's and doctoral candidates. So thank you to the graduate interdisciplinary programs. We have graduates coming from Applied Bioscience, Arid Lands, Cancer Biology, Entomology and Insect Science, Genetics, Physiological Science, Neuroscience. The College of Medicine and graduate programs has graduates in Cellular and Molecular Medicine, Immunobiology, Medical Pharmacology, Clinical Translational Sciences, and Masters in the Medical, Cellular and Molecular Medicine, Medical Track, and the Pre-Medical Track Pathways Program. So thank you all for everything that you've done, and I wish you well in your future endeavors.
At this point in our ceremony, we would normally invite the chairs or representatives from each department in our program to introduce individual students and their mentors that then would participate in a formal hooding. The hood, or the collar portion of the regalia, signifies a welcoming to the academic community. Unfortunately, the limitations of the online ceremony prevent this tradition. Instead, we will read each of the graduates and candidates' names to signify the hooding ceremony. We'll start with Applied Biosciences, the graduate interdisciplinary program with professional science master's degrees. Alexandra Algayer, Stephanie Arellano, Danae Barker, Robert Betterton, Jose Luis Camarena, Christopher Carnahan, Talish Davudian, Robert Arthur Haints, Kenya Renee Lassiter, Hareen Park, Ellen Sneetkeen. Those are the graduates from the Applied Bioscience Graduate Interdisciplinary Program. And now the Arid Lands Resource Sciences Graduate Interdisciplinary Program. Yurong Liu, Elia Maria Tapia. Those are the graduates from the Arid Lands Resource Sciences Graduate Interdisciplinary Program. Next we have Cancer Biology Graduate Interdisciplinary Program. Jeremiah Bears, Cody Basie, Andrea Cusillas, Julia Chion, James Hinton, Julie McGrath, Jessica Purer, Edgar Tapia, Brittany Oolorn. Those are the graduates from the Cancer Biology Graduate Interdisciplinary Program. Next, we have the Graduate Interdisciplinary Program in Entomology and Insect Science. Joshua Arnbrister, Isadora Bordini, Kyle Harrington, Eileen Gutierrez, Chioma Orenganje, John Palting, Naomi Dayub, Tierney Shabley, Mek Slagle, Emily Watkins de Jong, Alan Yanahan. Those are the Entomology and Insect Science Graduate Interdisciplinary Program graduates. Now we have the Genetics Graduate Interdisciplinary Program, Josh Forrested. He is representing genetics this year in the Graduate Interdisciplinary Program graduates. Now we have the Neuroscience Graduate Interdisciplinary Program, Rebecca Keating Godfrey, Samer Masri, Lisa So. Those are our graduates from the Neuroscience Graduate Interdisciplinary Program. And now we have the Physiological Science Graduate Interdisciplinary Program. Christine Gradisher, David Johnson, Adelina Lane, Revuthai Pillai, Nicolas Rodriguez, Rinku Scaria, Savannah Wenninger. Those are the graduates from the Physiological Sciences Graduate Interdisciplinary Program. Now we move on to the College of Medicine departments, starting with Cellular and Molecular Medicine. Isaac Bakerman, Anthony Breleanu, Mylin Bui, Pooja Chaudhry, Pallavi Dadbhai, Shoal Quaith, Sojal Mahajan, Samina Momtaz, Sheala Suarez, Carissa Potorf, Ricardo Reyes. And those are the graduates from the Department of Cellular and Molecular Medicine. Next we have Clinical Translational Sciences. Mohan Belthur, Elaine Blythe, Nancy Casanova, Brian Torres, Stephanie Tribble. Those are the graduates from Clinical and Translational Sciences. Now the Department of Immunobiology. Robert Betterton, Lauren Achoya, Jacob Spesko. Those are the graduates from the Department of Immunobiology. Next we have the Department of Pharmacology in the College of Medicine. Brody Blackburn, Hongting Diao, David Duran, Chelsea Hurst, Justin Lavigne, Taylor Satterley, Alicia Swanson, Austin Thompson, Hong Zine. And that's the graduates from the Department of Pharmacology. Now we have the Pre-Medical Admissions Pathway Program. Monique Crawford, Rebecca Dendy, David Gobriel, Priyanka Hadvani, Bilal Kokar, Peter Samosa, Brenda Valencia. And those are the graduates from the Pre-Medical Admissions Pathway Program. And that concludes the 15th annual ceremony to honor advanced degree graduates from the University of Arizona College of Medicine departments and interdisciplinary graduate programs. On behalf of the faculty, congratulations to you all for a job well done. And secondly, we do hope to have this event in an in-person environment in the near future. And of course, you're all invited. It would be great to see you at that event. Congratulations.